John?
I heard about your wife. I'm sorry. My condolences.
It seemed to be fate. Or happenstance, or just bad fucking luck caused our paths to cross once again.
John? Let us not resort to our baser instincts
And handle this like civilized men to move on.
The John Wick character has become iconic, and it all started in 2014 when the original film was released. Keanu Reeves was perfectly cast in the title role as the badass hitman out for revenge. The story in the original John Wick film is pretty straightforward. A retired hitman is dealing with intense grief following the death of his wife, Helen, due to a terminal illness. To help him cope with her death, Helen arranges for a beagle puppy to be delivered to John on the night of her funeral. The puppy is cute and adorable, and might just be what John needs to recover. But soon after, John is gassing up his classic Mustang when he runs into a group of young Russian gangsters. After John refuses to sell his car to the punk who leads the gang, they invade his home that night to steal the car, giving John a beating and then killing his dog in the process. Of course, they have no idea who they just messed with, and the revenge story begins. The basic story here is very predictable. There isn't a lot of suspense as to whether John Wick will get his revenge. It's just a matter of what the body count will be along the way. In lesser hands, this film may have flopped with such a predictable plot, but the details are what set this film apart. The underlying story may be simple, but the film is about so much more than John Wick's revenge. The film reveals an elaborate underworld filled with criminals and assassins. The filmmakers wanted to evoke the feeling of a graphic novel in this world, with stylized settings and unique characters. John is naturally enraged by the loss of his dog and his car, and then learns that the punk responsible is Yosef Tarasov, played by Alfie Allen. Yosef is the son of Viggo Tarasov, played by Michael Nyqvist, a powerful crime lord who used to be John's boss in his hitman days before he met his wife. Viggo tries to contact John and work things out, as we see in the opening clip, but nothing is going to stop John Wick at this point from seeking revenge, and he'll be relentless in his pursuit of Yosef. We start to get introduced to John's underworld past as he smashes through the concrete floor in his basement and digs up weapons and gold coins. We soon learn that the gold coins are important in the context of the criminal underworld that John left behind and is now re-entering. They symbolize a unique form of currency used by the assassins and other members of this clandestine community. The coins are more than just currency that can't be traced. They provide access to certain things that an assassin may need, and they also represent a deeper code of conduct and mutual respect among the players in this hidden world. John has immediate use for some coins when Viggo sends a team of 12 assassins to John's home to kill him. John manages to kill all 12 of the attackers, and then uses some of his gold coins for a cleanup crew to dispose of the bodies. The coins also provide access to the Continental Hotel, a safe haven for assassins and ground zero for this elaborate underworld. The hotel operates under strict rules, serving as neutral ground where assassins can conduct business, seek refuge, and relax without fear of being targeted. The hotel caters specifically to the needs of assassins, offering amenities such as discreet accommodations, weapon storage, medical assistance, and concierge services. As John Wick checks into the hotel with his dark suit, we start to get introduced to the stylized version of the underworld that John Wick inhabits, which sets this film apart from your standard action movie. At this point, we start to meet some of the characters who inhabit this world. Sharon, played by Lance Reddick, is the concierge of the Continental Hotel, serving as a calm and efficient guide for the assassins who frequent the hotel. Winston, played by Ian McShane, is the owner of the Continental Hotel. He enforces the hotel's rules and offers John guidance throughout the film. There are plenty of assassins as well. In the hotel, we meet Ms. Perkins, played by Adrienne Palicki. She's a sexy but ruthless assassin who attempts to claim the bounty on John's head. But she violates the sacred rules of the Continental Hotel by attacking John in his room, and ultimately has to face the consequences for breaking the rules. On the other hand, we also have Marcus, played by William Dafoe, an experienced sniper and close friend of John Wick. Marcus is also offered the bounty on John, but chooses instead to protect John. The action in this film is spectacular, from the car chases to the gunfights and the hand-to-hand fight scenes. Directors Chad Stahelski and David Leitch had very clear ideas of how they wanted to film this movie, with longer cuts that required highly choreographed fight scenes. Both had backgrounds in stunt work and action choreography, and they had worked with Keanu in the past. Keanu sent them the script, and then they made their pitch to direct the film as well, and landed their first directing job. The creators of this film unapologetically give the audience everything from the action movie playbook, but it works because they execute it perfectly with a sense of style. The film checks many of the action movie boxes. You have a badass hitman, a satisfying revenge tale, amazing aesthetics in the detailed and stylized underworld. You have badass muscle cars. We see John's very rare 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429, which was stolen, and then the 1970 Chevelle SS 396 he gets as a replacement car. We have incredible firefights, tons of ammunition. We have intense hand-to-hand combat, awesome fight scenes, and all of this culminating in a ridiculous body count that would make Stallone and Schwarzenegger proud. There's also no room for nuance in this film. John Wick is introduced as a sympathetic character given his grief. Meanwhile, the gangsters are despicable characters, bordering on being cartoonish villains, starting with the cliche of the idiot spoiled son causing trouble. But it works with everyone playing their roles so well. It all starts with Keanu Reeves, who was drawn to how the character of John Wick was consumed by grief. Reeves brings John Wick to life as he deals with the despair of his losing his wife, and then channeling that grief into rage after he's attacked. Keanu also brings to life the relentless determination of John Wick, the assassin, with the intensity required to pull off this role. And he's surrounded by fantastic acting talent, as we mentioned. Alfie Allen is perfect as the spoiled and obnoxious Yosef. It's easy for the audience to instantly hate this character. The directors build on this to create a unique world and action-packed spectacle. The film was made for around $20 million and ended up grossing over $80 million. In 2014, many considered this to be the surprise hit of the year. Critics generally gave the film positive reviews, and audiences loved it as well. We know now that this was the start of something special, as the John Wick character in the underground world of assassins has spawned a very successful action franchise. But it all started with this fantastic first film. The film stands on its own as a terrific action movie, and it holds up after all these years. It's also a great rewatch, so check it out.